Good day to all my respected guests, friends, and business partners all around the world. My name is Sam. Welcome everyone to today's iElite System online course with the topic of epidemic self-protection. And I would like to take this opportunity to appreciate Private International and also iElite System for leading us to have better health and better wealth. And our speaker for tonight is all the way from Malaysia. He has a background of physical education, sports science, health and wellness. Please welcome iTeracare Product Advisor, Mr. Soma Sundram.
Good evening, Mr. Sam. Thank you, Mr. Sam. Good day and welcome to all our respected guests from all around the world for another edition of iTeracare, this Iron Shield Pendant sharing, right? So we shall see how the negative ions are helping us. Now, to start off, as we know, presently we are in the middle of an endemic, right? And we shall see how self-precaution is important and how this device is going to help us. All right, now, first of all, let's look at the company where this device comes from. The company is MLS or Mulingshen. It's founded in 1997 and it has got 5 big manufacturing plants and with about 20,000 manpower, right? And its market value is of about 20 billion renminbis. It is the number 1 in the world for LED device packaging, and then it's number 2 in the lighting brand sales revenue in the world, and it has a presence in 140 countries around the world, and it has got 2 big national labs, right? So this is the company where this device is coming from. And a little bit more about the company. The core concept of the company is new health technology, right? So they're coming out with new and new products, and you're getting the latest and the very best. And it has got 20 years of manufacturing experience and an accumulation of technology patents. And its research and development is with domestic and foreign top-class experts and institutions. And it's also a leading, a leader in innovation and application of health technology and products. All right, and its global diversified development strategy, where it has presence in so many countries around the world, and its new health technology solutions are of superior quality, and their mission is to improve family health. All right, and its range of healthcare products, among others, are air safety monitoring systems, smart sanitizing systems, air safety and nutrition, and healthcare and wellness. All right, and this device is coming from a company which is well established. All right. Now again, some of the range of products: air safety monitoring systems, smart sanitizing systems, air nutrition, healthcare and wellness. And it has got multiple patents and certifications from leading authorities, right? And the people involved, none other than Dr. Zhong Nanshan, who is a world-renowned respiratory disease specialist, who was an important key person in China, conquering coronavirus when it was at its peak, and his team. He has got a team of leading experts, Mr. Liu Pinjin, Hao Lian, Dai Zizu, and Mr. Wu Yixiang, were all experts in their own field. And why the importance now? Why suddenly Iron Shield? All right. Now, first of all, it is because of the COVID-19 virus, where it has now presently, it looks like it is going to be here to stay. It started with the pandemic, and now it's endemic among us. Now we have to learn to live with it. All right. Now, people have found that researchers have found that there are more than 50 long-term effects of COVID-19. There are reports, scientific reports, outlining what they are. And COVID-19 has damaged its damage is not limited to lungs alone. All right. So lots and lots of people are affected, and you can see here the long-term effects of COVID-19. People are finding that in spite of having recovered from the initial contact, they are now suffering from various ailments along the way, right? And they have not fully recovered. And you can see lots of post-COVID complications and long-term symptoms, among others, body pain, joint pains, headaches, high blood sugar, fever, and lots more. Now, basically, what's happening is it's playing havoc among lots of people, especially to those who are not strong, all right, where the health is not at its peak. Now, people have now come to learn to live with COVID-19 as part of a new normal, right? So you cannot be hiding anymore in your homes or anywhere you wish to hide. And people are learning to also go out, do what they are doing, normally, in spite of the COVID-19, all right? And we have got reports, research, and lots of info about how COVID-19 is going to be here to stay, and we have to learn to live with it, all right? And are you ready? And are you prepared to live in a new norm, all right? Now, are you prepared? Now, what can you do to live among this, all right? Now, we started off with COVID-19, then there was this beta, Delta, now presently Omicron. And what next after this? Now, what have you done as a preparation? All right. Okay. Now, the present precautions that people are normally taking is keeping their personal distance. They are wearing masks and they are wearing face shields. Now, what other ways can we do or use to protect ourselves and our family other than the above? Right? Now you have negative ions. And how do we use them? How do they help us? And this is what we are going to see next. All right. Now, first of all, let's look at what negative ions are. Dr. Philip Leonard, who is a German physicist, first proposed at the end of the 19th century. Now, what he said was negative oxygen ions that exist in the natural environment are good for human health. He discovered this a long time ago, right? But people did not catch to this whatever he proposed until now, right? And Professor Wang Zongjun from the Beijing Forestry University has mentioned that to ensure for healthy body, breathe 13 billion negative oxygen ions a day, right? And if you look at the statistics, now people who live near the forests and waterfalls are really a gifted lot. They have lots of negative ions there, and it's definitely helping them. It's helping their body, and it's helping with natural healing. And also those who are living near the mountains and seasides are also enjoying that. But as you go deeper and deeper into the interior, towards the towns, cities, what you're finding is it's getting less and less. And when you come to your houses, to your offices, you find that at the industrial areas is as good as zero. All right, the negative ions are zero, and you are definitely prone to various diseases. All right, and even the offices where we are working, lots of people are working in the offices and closed areas, and they find that they have run into lots of trouble, lots of issues, and part of the reason is because the amount of negative ions which are there are tremendously less. All right, so and that is why people who go to the waterfalls, go into the forest, make a trip to the seaside, they find that they are really energized, right? They feel the energy coming back to them, all right? And how many of you can actually say that you take time off to go into the jungle, or you get to be near the river, all right, into the countryside. Okay, and how many of you can actually say that you breathe clean air? And you are lucky enough to be able to experience and feel the water and the surroundings near the waterfall, right? And how many of you actually take your time off to go to the parks? Because there's lots of what do you call it, negative ions there, right? And you look at this as the water falls, they are falling on rocks, and this creates lots of negative ions, right? And even the rain, how many of you still have the time to get wet in the rain? And when you're small, lots of you used to get wet in the rain. And nowadays, what we see is lots of parents do not allow their children to get wet in the rain. All right. So, this is also bringing in lots of negative ions. All right. So, how many negative ions do we actually get? As we see here again, at the waterfall and forest and countryside areas, we have lots of them. And when you start going inland, it becomes lesser and lesser. And even in spite of an open window home, we still only have about 500 cubic centimeter. And in offices, it's even less. On the roads with heavy traffic, it's less. And in industrial areas, it's as good as zero. Right? So this is how it's affecting people. Right? So in the nature, what's happening is when you have the waterfalls, as we saw just now, when there is water collision, when they drop on the rocks, water becomes positively charged, and the surrounding air becomes negatively charged. And that is why people who are living near waterfalls, near the beaches, mountains, can see them very healthy. And even during the thunderstorms, you get large amounts of negative ions, which are generated by an electrical discharge phenomenon, right? And people ask, what is it actually, these negative ions? What are they actually? Now, when you look at this, when the atom is neutral, it has equal numbers of protons, neutrons, and electrons. But if it is negatively charged, it has an extra electron compared to protons. But if it is positively charged, then it has extra protons compared to electrons. That is the basic difference, right? And how do negative ionizers work? And how do they give us health benefits? This is what we shall look after this. Now, first of all, the human body actually needs to breathe about 13 billion negative oxygen ions daily. Now, what they do is they help to kill the bacteria and viruses. They help to reduce sediments and harmful particles. They remove harmful gases and smoke, and they balance, regulate health, and they replenish negative ions, right? So when you do not have them, then you're definitely going to run into lots of issues. Now let's see what Dr. John Oxford has got to say.
Directing the experiment was the International Authority in Virus Research, Dr. John Oxford.
And we're using a more powerful ionizer. This emits 50,000 ions per centimeter cubed.
The experiment is carried out using a 1 meter cubed box. Virus solution is sprayed from the top surface of the box. Within the box, an ion generator is producing plasma cluster ions. When two ions stick to the surface of a virus, they transform into a highly oxidizing OH radical and draw out the hydrogen from the protein of the spike-shaped virus. Which hydrogen has been taken is degraded and the OH radical returns to water. This sequence is performed in an instant, completely removing the virus.
This sort of technology, I think, will give us some reassurance that we'd have a piece of kit, as it were, that could be used not only against viruses we know about, but viruses that could appear in the future.
There you go. Professor John Oxford has positive things to say about how the negative ions are going to help you, not only presently, but also in the future, right? Now, we shall see now our ion shield ionizer pendant, and we shall see how it is going to help us, right? Now, first of all, let's look at the ionizer pendant. This is how it looks like. If you see here, this is the emitter. At the bottom here is the switch, and in the center here, you have a light source where when you switch on, you hold it a little bit, for a few seconds, and it switches this light on. All right. So when it's charged, the light comes on, and when you're using it, the light is on. And when you switch it off, it goes off. And it has a chain, a metal chain, and the emitter is right here where it's blowing up towards the face, nose, neck, and the eyes. All right, and it's for beautiful color. Now it also comes in a beautiful packed box, and it makes good presents if you wish to give, especially to your parents and the elderly. All right, and what exactly is the ion shield? All right, the ion shield pendant is actually a portable negative ion health guard. All right, it's an air mask. Right, if you're wearing a mask which you're so used to. Now this ion shield is a mask too, but it is an air mask where the air is blowing above, in front of your face, in front of your nose, and it works in the same way as a normal mask would do. Right, and you can also call it as an electronic mask, right? Okay, now what does it do? It provides cleaner air and better protection from contaminants and particulate matter, right? And it has a stylish design, and it has got magnetic charging, which means that the thing sticks to the back and it charges the pendant, and it provides 60 million negative oxygen ions when you start using it. All right, it emits 60 million negative oxygen ions at one time. Okay, and it has got 9 hours standby time with 1 hour of charging, but people have found that it is even lasting up to 16 hours. Right, and the quality is assured, quality control. And let's look at what's the difference between conventional and ion shield. When you look at the conventional negative ion emitters, first of all, they are large in size, they're inconvenient to move. They're placed in one corner of the room, and it's expected to provide negative ions all around the room. And you may need to change the filter. And the purification effect easily gets weaker over time. It might have some loud noise, and it normally comes with a high price, and is unable to decompose effective substances. Now, when you come to the ion shield, what happens is it's very small and portable. In fact, it's very stylish. People are definitely going to ask, what do you have in front of you there? And it's very environmental friendly. There's a very high concentration of negative ions, among the highest in the market. It's noiseless and cost effective, and has a very simple operations and suitable for all ages. Now, during the endemic, children need to go to school, and they need to be protected from whoever is around them. And this device is definitely going to help them. All right. And once again, we shall see, right, how this works. Now, first of all, it uses electronic pulse technology, uses low energy consumption. It has got mirror protection. There's a stylish mini look. Releases 60 million negative ion at one time, and it has a long battery life. Right? What more can you ask? Again, if you look at the chain, it is of a metal chain. Please do not change it, because it's helping you to remove static charges. So if you're using this, then you do not have to worry about any electrical shocks, because it is going to take care of the electrical static, right? And again, it's small and light. There's got a long battery life, It provides healthy negative oxygen ions anytime, anywhere. It regulates the body's ion balance. It neutralizes free radicals. All right. And then if you can couple it with a little bit of continuous mild aerobic exercise together with these negative oxygen ions, is going to be very, very powerful for you. It improves body function systems, purifies second-hand smoke before it reaches you, removes formaldehyde and removes bad odor, and definitely it has got antibacterial disinfection and sedimentation of dust. Right now, let's look at some of the statistics reports. Now, test reports have confirmed that it kills up to 99.99% of the coronavirus. All right, and some of the features of this device: it produces 60 million pieces per cubic centimeter of negative ion concentration, measured 5 centimeters from the negative ion emitter. Now, effective strength is even up to 30 to 50 centimeters, depending on the wind conditions. Now, this is an important factor because I'll explain later why this is important. It blows up towards the nose area, and the full charge lasts up to 9 hours at least. But people have found that it can go up to even 16 hours. And it uses electromagnetic pulse technology, and the metal chain disperses static buildup. Lightweight, you don't even feel it, it's hanging there, and it's expected to last up to 10 years at least. Definitely it's portable, and please do share with your loved ones if necessary, right? Especially if they need to go out into the crowd, right? Now, the basic specifications for this device, the dimensions are 35 by 35 by 16 millimeters. The weight is of about 20 grams. Charging time is about 1 to 1.5 hours. Working duration is anywhere from 9 to 16 hours. Uses DC-5 voltage, and it has just one button control where a long press turns it on and a short press turns it off. And there are certain precautions which goes with this. If it gets wet, there's an auto cutoff switch which protects this ionizer pendant. And when it's dry, it can be switched on again. Make sure it does not fall into water. The sensitive system inside will definitely be affected, and it may not work again. So it's a definite no-no when it comes to falling into water. All right, and let's look at the negatively or positively charged substances in the air. A negative ion is a negatively charged atom, molecule, or complex molecule having more than its normal amount of electrons, as we saw earlier. A small amount of electricity does not give you an electric shock, and it's also taken care by the chain which removes the static electricity. And you definitely cannot see it with your naked eye or feel it. All right, so there's no way you can see that. All right, and an ideal amount of negative. What is an ideal amount of negative ions? It depends on the person and the symptoms. If you're a little bit more chronic with your health, then you may need a little bit more negative ions. If you're healthy, then probably you may need less. It can also vary depending on how negative ions are generated, the ratio of negative and positive ions, and the measurement tolerances. All right. So what it says is it depends on how far you are from the normal emitters which you are using. But with the ion pendant, ion shield pendant, you are carrying it with you anywhere you go, so you do not need to worry about this. And a minimum of 50,000 negative ions pieces per cubic centimeter were found to be beneficial for health. Imagine a minimum of 50,000 negative ions is sufficient, but you're getting 60 million pieces per cubic centimeter each time you're using it. All right, there's lots and lots of negative ions for you. And where the negative ion is measured is of importance, because the negative ion count should be measured where the patient is positioned. and it also can be the count measured at the blow-off point of the negative ion generator. Now, what it means is most devices, they tell you the count from where the blow-off, the emitter is. Normally it's at about 3 to 5 centimeters, and they do not tell you where you are. Now, what happens is, that is of importance because the further you go, the negative ions may not be reaching you. Now, with this ion shield ionizer pendant, you are carrying it with you wherever you go. So it's constantly blowing at a constant pace, and you're getting it all the time. All right, and it has got test reports which has certifying that is definitely emitting 60 million negative ions each time. Right, and lots of devices, besides generating negative ions, they also generate ozone, right? So you find you must be careful when you're choosing your device, because if it also produces a large amount of ozone, then you're going to be in trouble, right? Now, according to test reports done on this device, it's only 0.009, and the safety level is 0.05. So you're well within the safety level, right? And these are further tests confirming the test reports for the ozone level. Okay, and let's look at some standalone generators. Now, what it means is you put them in on one side of the room, and you're working on the other side, and or somewhere in the room, and you're expecting those negative ions to reach you. Okay, the placement and the distance from the generator and blow-off point is going to play a big part. So as you see here, as the distance gets greater, the negative ion count gets lesser. All right, it gets lesser and lesser as you go further. So although you might be feeling safe with the standalone generator in the room, but you might not be enjoying the benefits of them. Right, now again, now this is where the generator is. At the blow-off point, you're getting a lot, even 1 million pieces per cubic centimeter. But as you move away, most of the time, it's getting less, and just 50 centimeters away, it's as good as zero. All right, the ion count at a distance away from the generator determines the performance of the generator. With the ion shield ionizer pendant, it is constantly emitting 60 million pieces per cubic centimeter at any given time, and it's blowing 30 to 50 centimeters from the emitter, which is exactly around where your face is, where your nose is, your eyes, your mouth. All right, so you're constantly getting 60 million negative ions when you're using them, right? And let's see at what are the negative ion effects on the human body, right? From some testimonials. Now, first of all, people have reported they feel more relaxed compared to before. It's easier to fall asleep, and it improves bladder condition and lesser toilet frequency. They feel more calm. The skin condition is improved. They get less irritated, right? And some other negative ion effects, besides sleeping well, they feel relaxed, less stress, refreshed, removes cigarette smoke, and it purifies the air. And further health benefits, they neutralize free radicals, they revitalize and enhance cell metabolism, they enhance the immune function, they purify the blood, they help with pH balancing, they help in overcoming insomnia, they balance the autonomic nervous system, and they help in promoting deep sleep and healthy digestion. Now, what more can you ask? It's protecting you from the viruses, and it's helping you with all this. Just one purchase, and you get all in one package. Right? Now, there's also some important benefits of negative ions. They clear the air of airborne allergens such as pollen, mold spores, bacteria and viruses, dust, pet allergy, and cigarette smoke. And the negative ions perform this function by attaching themselves to positively charged particles in large numbers and negatively charging those particles. So when those particles are negatively charged, what happens is these viruses, bacteria, and pollen spores become too heavy to remain airborne and are thus prevented from entering your breathing passage where they can make you fall sick. So what it means is now you're getting the air which you would find at the waterfalls, the ones we might find at in the mountains, the jungle, the forest, at the seaside, right there where you are. In other words, negative ions form a protective circle around you wherever you are with the ion shield ionizer pendant. And further benefits of these negative ions, it regulates the immune system, stabilizes heart functions, and aids smooth blood circulation. Right? It has definitely has got positive effects on mood and depression. It prevents DNA damage and cell mutation, and it retains youthfulness and encourages graceful aging. Right? Many people are finding that using this it lets you retain your youthfulness. And body cells are generally definitely going to regenerate. You have better sleep quality. You have memory enhancement and positive effects on mood. And even when it comes to hair, let's look at how ions work on the hair. All right. Now, when you look at figure 1, before this, hair follicle is damaged, dry, and porous. Now, in figure 2, the negative ions cause the large water droplets to be broken into smaller droplets. So what they do is they enter the what they call it hair follicle easier. So the smaller water droplets allow them to absorb into the hair more easily, hence drying faster, right? And this has a conditioning and smoothing effect on the follicle, achieving shinier hair. So even when it comes to hair, it is helping people, right? And basically what you're looking at is, you are looking at an air bubble in front of you. It works as if you're using the mask which you're using now. It works as a air mask, electronic mask. It is blowing upwards, 30 to 50 centimeters in front of your nose, mouth, face, eyes. What happens is any sediments, particulate matter, pollen, allergens, viruses, bacteria, and they come into contact with this air bubble. Now the what you call it, they are negatively charged. They become too heavy and they drop to the bottom. Many people have reported that by using this, they find that their room is a little bit more dustier than before. All the dust is also falling, right? So this is how, first of all, you're being protected, and secondly, you are getting clean, healthy air to breathe, and it's helping you with your health, right? So again, you look at this again. Now, the first, you have a neutral oxygen atom, and then you have a positively charged ion, and then it becomes negative ion, and there's a extra free electron, and when it comes into contact with those elements which we're talking about just now, they interact and they make them negatively charged and they drop to the bottom, right? Now, Molinshan, the company, is even helping in China. They're helping in high-speed rail systems where they're helping to provide these negative ions in the high-speed rail system, in the offices, and in airplanes. And what more? It is ionizer, ion shield pendants, right? Now, there are some extra test results which we may want to see. First of all, when you look at the hazardous statements, it's not listed in the list of hazardous chemicals. So it's definitely safe for you. It is recognized as a multifunctional air purifier with no health hazard. It's non-flammable and there's no danger when in contact and no first aid needed, right? And you can just store it at room temperature. You don't have to have any special cooling system. Its main uses is to purify the air, and it's definitely stable at room temperature, right? And when it comes to the respiratory system, for the eye face protection, skin protection, and for the physical protection, there is no special protection is required for normal use, all right? Just use it as it is. And environmental protection service life of the equipment or device under normal working and using conditions is 10 years. It's a long time you're going to be able to use this device. It's definitely value for money, all right? And it also has all the compliances and requirements of the EC regulations and also the, what do you call it, EU regulations, right? And the Iron Shield is a safeguard for us and our family members, and it gives us safety for better health and wealth. So use the Iron Shield ionizer pendant, and many of you who are members who have been using your iTerra, who are users of iTerra Care blower, you'll find that you've got lots of points where you can redeem this shield, Iron Shield ionizer pendant. So use it for yourself, use it for your family, use it for your loved ones. All right? So that's that. I thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sam.
Yeah, thank you very much to Mr. Somasundram for sharing with us the benefits of a negative ion and also Private International Iron Shield pendant. So for our friends who are the very first time together with us, I strongly encourage that everyone should at least have a chance to have a unit of this Iron Shield pendant, as it will carry as a function to give an extra protection, not only giving have it just try to enjoy the benefit of the negative ion, but at this the seasons of pandemic, we need extra protection on top of putting on a mask, keeping social distance, and so facial and so on. So since even the Mother's Day and Father's Day are coming around the corner, I think this is a very good gift to give to our loved ones. Yeah. So if you need further information about the Iron Shield pendant product, kindly contact the person who invited you to today's meeting. And I think that's all for the sharing for sessions today. So once again, thank you to Mr. Somasundram, and also thank you to everyone who are willing to spend time together with us on these sessions. So meanwhile, I wish you all the best. So we still remember have to stay safe and stay healthy all the time. Hope to see you next time in the air. Thank you. Good night and bye-bye.